What's up everyone? John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo here. I've had the iPhone for a few hours and I thought I'd share some first impressions. This is by no means a full review, just some initial thoughts after having played with the phone and used it as my primary device for just a little while. We'll have a full review coming up in a few days once I feel comfortable with the device. So let's start with the hardware before I turn it on. The hardware team absolutely nailed it. This is the best feeling iPhone in the history of iPhones, as you'd expect with each generation. It feels extremely light. You almost feel like the battery is not in there. The anodized aluminum feels absolutely wonderful, and the glass accents on the top and bottom I think really give it a high quality feel to it. There's been some reports about easy scratching. I've been putting it down, just no case on it without any sort of issue, pulling it in and out of my pocket. But the real test will be over time to see how well it wears. The glass does seem to be pretty nice. The attention to detail on the phone has really been impressive. Everything from the corners to the screen, everything just pops. Hardware-wise, no knock on this phone at all. Now let's turn it on. There's Lucy. And you've got a rows and rows and rows and rows of icons, which is really the only thing that you can do. You can have folders, but pretty much you still have the same icon view that we've had since 2007. And this is where the iPhone really falls short. iOS 6 is holding back what should be an incredible device. The software is extremely stale. Now don't confuse stale with not capable. The operating system is still very capable. It does everything you need to do. It's got support for a ton of applications, but it does it a little bit on the boring side. There should be a better way to show information. If I want to log into Chartbeat and I want to see how Techno Buffalo is doing, I should be able to see that from the home screen. If I want to look at analytics and see how the site's doing, I should be able to do that. See what my Facebook updates are, Twitter, I should be able to see all of that. Now I can pull this down, I can see some information there, but not everything that I would like. Siri seems to work pretty well. We did a demonstration of that and we'll do an upcoming test versus Google Voice. But the software really holds this phone back. Just looking at it right now, it looks even more cluttered because of that extra row of icons. So yeah, you can have more icons here, which results, at least for me, in one fewer page, and I only have 3. But the presentation is still a little bit stale. There are some things though that I really like in iOS 6, so I do want to be fair. Do Not Disturb is a really welcome feature. I turn my phone off traditionally at night, and I always get worried that perhaps if there was an emergency with my grandparents, they might not know to call my landline. Now I can just tell them, call the phone 3 times, eventually it'll ring through. So for me personally, that's a feature that I really do like to have. The screen looks absolutely gorgeous compared to the screen on the iPhone 4S. Everything just pops. It looks very, very, very vibrant. So if you're looking for a phone with a great screen, which will translate to a great movie experience, this is going to be a really good way to go. A lot of issues been made with Maps. We can talk about Maps a little bit. It's not as good as Google Maps. There's really no nice way to say that. But it is a first generation product, so I'm willing to give it at least a generation or software update or 2 before I compare it. But when you're replacing a very capable mapping system from Google Maps, you expect something to be of equal capabilities, and this just is not. Where this does shine though is in turn by turn. This has a great turn by turn navigation option. So if you get lost a lot like me, you're going to be happy to have that. But if you use this for a lot of points of interest, it's not going to be overly helpful. You've got flyover, so you can essentially view how things look from the sky, but I'd much rather trade flyover and be able to see a street view and see what buildings look like instead of seeing what they look like from the top. But that's just me. Call quality is absolutely excellent. Speaker's been very loud. It's been nice having LTE. I haven't had the phone long enough to check battery life, so I'll report back once I can decharge and do a full charge and run a battery of tests on that. Lightning connector works as you'd expect. Headphone jack on the bottom hasn't really been an issue for me at all. Boot up time is a little bit quicker. I haven't noticed any real speed difference though by opening up Safari or anything. I know it opens up milliseconds quicker, but I haven't really noticed any big difference there. First impressions, did you upgrade from the iPhone 4S over this? I'd say maybe you want to wait a generation and see what the iPhone 5S or iPhone 6, whatever they call it, might be. Only the difference I'm really noticing is the look and feel, which is certainly nice, and if you're into having a new look and feel of a phone, then it might be reason to upgrade. Or stick with what you have. The performance, you're really not noticing anything that different. I will play some games though, to take advantage of the bigger screen. There is some letterboxing that's going on here with the applications, but you're not going to really notice the letterboxing if you're using the black one. Let me show you what I mean here. Let's go to one of my favorites, the speed test app. And you don't really even notice that it's letterbox. You can see that the phone screen actually starts right there, but the text gets pulled down. per the difference of the screen size. So really not a big deal. On the white version, you might notice it a little bit more as it goes from white to black where the screen is, but it hasn't really bothered me. I expect developers to update their apps to support the larger screen size though very soon. Updates to the App Store are actually really nice. There's a lot of new stuff here, new design. You can go into Passbook and download the Passbook app. We'll talk about it in just a second. But I like the way it looks. I'll definitely give them credit. They did a nice job here redesigning the App Store. When you go ahead and look for an app, for example, you get a brand new view of what it looks like. You get all the screenshots right there, and the reviews and related all show up pretty nicely, actually. So let's talk about Passbook real quickly. If you go to Passbook, and I was sure that Passbook was a sign we were going to have NFC on board, but clearly I was wrong. So you have to download the apps from the App Store, and then you can go ahead and pick from what's here, not many choices. When you download them, though, it doesn't go into Passbook and you don't see these applications. These applications download like any other application, so I've got them all here stored in a folder. You can open them just like you would any other app, and then that will talk to Passbook. I would have liked to have seen those integrated inside of Passbook, so you don't have to use valuable screen real estate as more and more apps come from it. Am I happy with the iPhone 5? Yeah, I knew exactly what I was going to get. I knew it was iOS 6. I knew what iOS 6 was. I tried it in beta. I saw it on the 4S. The hardware feels absolutely incredible. If you're the kind of person that knows they're going to use an iPhone, they're an iPhone user, then yes, it's hands down the best iPhone yet, at least thus far in initial impressions. If you are debating going to an iPhone, you want to see what else might come out, I might be better served to wait. Actually using the iPhone 5 has made me more excited about the Galaxy Note 2. Something that's a little bit different that can let me customize it a bit more. But then again, these are just first impressions. Do you guys agree, disagree? I want to hear what you have to say. If you want to know about the camera, I'll put a link down below. We ran a full camera comparison test comparing this to the iPhone 4S. So I'll let you draw your own conclusions there. I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.